When we talk about how we can help our skin, we talk about trying this product and trying that device and this procedure, but we often forget the most simple thing our body needs, and that's sleep. I'm Dr. Sapna. Today I've got a cup of coffee and we're going to talk about beauty sleep. And the biggest question that we all have, is beauty sleep real? First of all, what is sleep? Now we all know that sleep is the time when your body is resting and recuperating. It's what we need to prepare us for each day when we're doing physically and mentally strenuous things. However, when it comes to your skin, it's actually the time that your skin is working the hardest. Now when it comes to sleep, something that's really important is timing. Our sleep is regulated by our circadian rhythms. Think of your circadian rhythm as your body's built-in 24-hour alarm clock. Almost every living creature has one, and in our bodies it regulates a lot of the 24-hour cycles for our biological processes, and it's all synchronized to light and dark. This circadian rhythm controls everything from our digestion to our mood, and guess what? The skin is no exception. This sleep and circadian rhythm helps regulate the skin's pH, its transepidermal water loss, its collagen production, its blood flow, and the temperature as well. All these essential processes for functional skin. So let's go into a bit more detail about what actually happens. Now, when it's dark, our body starts to know it's time to sleep. This is when your skin starts working overtime and it starts doing as much repairing and restoring as it can. And this is all triggered by the production of essential hormones at this time. One of the key hormones working really hard at this time is melatonin. Now these hormones are all coming from the hypothalamus, which is part of the brain. Now melatonin is a powerful hormone that only gets released at night. It works to help fight against free radical damage. It helps stimulate fibroblasts that are involved in the repairing and structural processes of the skin, things like collagen and elastin. And it also works hand in hand with the inflammatory processes that are going on in your skin to help heal your skin as well as control the inflammation. There's lots of research that suggests melatonin is responsible for having a thick epidermis and reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. All in all, melatonin works to help heal our skin. There's even talks about using melatonin as a topical ingredient to see if it can help lots of different skin conditions like wound healing, eczema, psoriasis, and even vitiligo. Now there are a few other hormones and proteins floating around as well, all working synergistically with the melatonin. Growth hormone also plays a really big part here in collagen production to help healing skin. There are lots of different proteins floating around working as well. Pro-inflammatory, cytokines, interleukins are all working in these processes and work really hard at night. We actually have inflammatory proteins working at night, and that's because inflammation is part of the healing process, and you kind of want that to happen at night so that during the day your skin doesn't have that inflammation. And that's also why we get the release of anti-inflammatory proteins during the day as well. A lot of these processes and hormones are triggered by the hypothalamus, which is part of the endocrine system in our brain. It produces all these different hormones at different times according to the circadian rhythm so that our skin knows what to do. For example, growth hormone increases when we sleep. We get a peak of cortisol in the morning, but minimal cortisol at night, the stress hormone. And our melatonin increases overnight and decreases during the day. Think of this all as like the nightly spa treatment your skin gets every night when you sleep. So what happens when you don't sleep? Now, chronic sleep deprivation disrupts that 24-hour alarm clock that's going on in your body. When you don't sleep when it's dark and stay awake overnight and sleep during the day when it's light, your body's signals all get thrown off, and so does the regulation of these hormones and proteins that control your skin. So for example, you don't get as much melatonin. Now, that means that the free radicals that we get from our environment, things like UV, can all go wild. This can lead to dysregulation of the skin's water loss, causing dehydration, wrinkles, and fine lines, as well as worsening your sensitivity to UV damage. By the way, I've mentioned free radicals a few times, but free radicals are essentially these molecules that steal electrons from other molecules and cause instability in different chain reactions. It causes disruption to the skin's normal processes, and that's what causes the damage from UV, even leading to things like skin cancers. The lack of sleep can cause a dysregulation of your growth hormone, leading to poor collagen production. Even your cortisol goes haywire, which is your stress hormone, and that can cause inflammatory responses all throughout the day when your skin doesn't want it. This is also the hormone that controls metabolism, insulin, things like PCOS and weight loss. So when it's dysregulated, all those things can go off balance. Sleep deprivation can disrupt the release of those normal hormones and anti-inflammatory proteins, and this can actually worsen skin conditions as well. There are lots of studies that show poor sleep can disrupt eczema, acne, and rosacea as well. What we actually see is that your skin might be more dehydrated, prone to breakouts, more irritated, and you definitely see the darkness and hollows around your eyes as well. And in the long term, this is what's going to cause accelerated signs of aging as well. By the way, if you find this video interesting, definitely check out my channel and hit subscribe. I release loads of videos about skincare and dermatology, so don't miss out. Now, I want to give a specific shout out to eczema and psoriasis. The reasons I want to mention these specifically is because they are chronic skin conditions associated with itching. Now, there are a bunch of other skin conditions, but these are the most common. Itching definitely gets worse at night. That's because of those pro-inflammatory cytokines that are trying to work hard to heal your skin as well. So ideally, you want to be asleep when all of these are being released, especially if you have these conditions. And we know that itching actually worsens the issues with eczema and psoriasis. And this can lead to quite a downward spiral of itching and poor sleep and itching and poor sleep. So it's really important to do the best you can to help your healthy sleep habits. How does sleep affect the rest of your life? One thing I wanted to mention is that sleep has benefits on so many different physiological levels. Poor sleep really affects your whole body. But we also can't forget the psychological and social issues associated with poor sleep. When you sleep well, your mood is better, you just feel better in your own skin. Having more sleep helps you feel more productive during the day, again helping you feel better about all your accomplishments. And it's no secret that if you sleep well, you'll find that you have healthier habits. You're more likely to exercise more, you're more likely to eat better, and all of these things will contribute to having better skin as well. You're more likely to follow through with your day-to-day routines to keep your body healthy, and you're even more likely to stay consistent with your skincare routines. And having poor sleep habits can result in over-reliance on a couple of things that we know are bad for your skin, including alcohol, processed foods, and over-reliance on sugars. In small amounts, those things can be okay, but we know that in large amounts, it can worsen your skin. And when you've slept well and have good routines and good sleep habits, you really do feel better. This all just gives you so much more internal confidence and glow, and that really shines through. Let's talk about a couple of proven sleep hygiene tips that can really help you if you're suffering with your sleep. Now, you really want to be aiming to get around 8 hours of sleep for the average adult. I've heard people say they can function on 5 hours of sleep, but for me, that sounds horrendous. Now, one thing we know is that light really matters. It's really important to try and maintain the light-dark cycle that our body is used to. This helps stimulate the circadian rhythm and let it do its thing. I get that that's really, really hard if you do shift work. So if you've worked night shifts like I have, the tips I use is having a really good blackout sleep mask, as well as blackout curtains if you can get hold of some. Something that's really helpful is having dimmer switches in your house. That just means when you're starting to wind down, you can dim the light so your body is starting to get ready for sleep as well. For me, creating specific nighttime routines really helps tell my body it's time for sleep. Just having a kind of routine of, oh, I'm aiming to sleep at this time every day. I brush my teeth, I do my skincare, and then I head straight to bed. That helps your body and your brain really know when it's time to sleep, because you're going to be doing the same thing every night. I love caffeine, I love coffee, but I give myself quite strict rules not to have any tea or coffee after 4 p.m. And that means by the time I get to sort of 9, 10 o'clock, most of the caffeine has left my body and I'm kind of feeling ready to sleep. And the last tip is screen time. This isn't news, but I think it does need to be said. Having your phone straight next to your face at bedtime is definitely going to stimulate your brain. It has bright light. That bright light tells your body that it doesn't need to sleep, even though you know you should. It means that your body gets confused because it's stimulated by all the lights, colors, whatever it is. Instead, try and leave your phone away from the bed, and it does really make such a difference. One thing that I'm about to start trying is actually turning my phone on grayscale after 9 p.m. Purely because I think that will stop me wanting to scroll on my phone, stop me scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. My husband does it all day long and his phone is always on grayscale. But for me, I'm going to try and do it each evening, and just to see if that helps trick my body into not wanting to look at my screen all the night. So I hope it's clear that beauty sleep is not a myth. There's loads of scientific research that supports everything we've spoken about, but you'll see in yourself after a good night's sleep, you look and feel so much better. If you're hanging around, check out my latest video. This is all about 2024 skincare trends and what's on my wish list. Thanks for watching.